U.S. Army orders $884.9 million M1147 Abrams tank 120mm rounds to replace four legacy shell types. The contract funds production through March 2031 and supports both U.S. Army inventories and foreign military sales customers. The M1147 advanced multi-purpose round replaces several legacy Abrams cartridges, delivering airburst, delay, and point detonation modes through a programmable fuse linked to the tank's fire control system. The award signals sustained procurement following full-rate production approval in December 2024. The March 27, 2026, contract notice states that only one bid was received and that work locations and funding will be assigned by order, underscoring that this is a major production vehicle for sustained procurement rather than a one-off buy. It comes after the Army approved the M1147 for full-rate production on December 20, 2024, calling it a critical requirement for both U.S. forces and international partners. The M1147 is a 120mm line-of-sight, full-bore multipurpose tank cartridge fired from the Abrams family's 120mm gun and built around a programmable multi-mode fuse. Unlike a pure anti-armor kinetic round such as the M829A4, the M1147 is the Abrams' versatile high-explosive direct-fire munition, optimized for the messy target set that dominates real armored combat, exposed dismounts, anti-tank guided missile teams, bunkers, breach points, light armor, and hardened structures. Its central advantage is fuse flexibility. Army and test documentation describe three defeat modes: point detonate delay, and airburst, selected through the Abrams ammunition data link and fire control system. Point detonation is suited to immediate surface effects on light structures or troops in the open. Delay allows the projectile to penetrate barriers before bursting, which is particularly relevant for bunkers and reinforced walls. And airburst allows the round to function over or near exposed infantry and missile teams that would otherwise be difficult to hit cleanly with a conventional impact fuse shell. That flexibility is why the Army has invested so heavily in the program. The M1147 was developed to consolidate the roles of four older Abrams rounds: the M830 Heat MPT, M830A1 MPAT, M908 obstacle reduction round, and M1028 canister into a single cartridge, while also adding improved wall breaching and extended anti-8 EGM team performance. Public Army and Defense Industry Material specifically highlights new capability against anti-tank guided missile teams out to 2,000 meters and against double-reinforced concrete walls, which is a meaningful improvement for armored units fighting in urban terrain or against prepared defensive belts. In practical terms, this is how the munition is normally meant to be used. An Abrams platoon moving in complex terrain may need 1 minute to punch through a wall for an infantry breach, the next to suppress a missile team firing from a rooftop or tree line, and then to neutralize troops in a trench, rubble position, or building aperture. Under the legacy ammunition model, which demanded careful forecasting of which specialized rounds would be loaded and in what quantity, the M1147 gives crews a single configurable high-explosive round that can be tailored at the moment of engagement, reducing hesitation and improving first-round tactical relevance. This explains why the United States is ordering such ammunition now. U.S. armored forces are preparing for battlefield conditions in which tanks must do more than dual enemy armor. They must also survive in dense urban areas, support combined arms breaches, destroy anti-tank ambush positions, and rapidly transition between target types during high-intensity operations. The Army has been explicit that the M1147 addresses a critical requirement, and its emphasis on defeating 8 EGM teams and reinforced walls shows that the round is aimed squarely at the close fight where survivability often hinges on how quickly a tank can eliminate concealed missile threats and create access through hardened obstacles. There is also a hard logistics logic behind the procurement. The Army said full-rate production approval would simplify the Abrams basic load and help address aging stockpiles by replacing 4 legacy cartridges with 1. For an armored force, that matters operationally as much as raw lethality. Fewer ammunition types simplify storage, forecasting, handling, and training, while allowing commanders to carry a more adaptable loadout across different mission sets. In other words, the M1147 is not simply a better shell, It is a readiness and sustainment measure for the Abrams fleet. The timing of the contract also reflects program maturation. DOTNE reporting shows the round's full-rate production decision was delayed after low-rate initial production rounds did not fully pass a first article acceptance test, but later Army reporting confirms that hurdle was overcome with the December 2024 full-rate production decision. This new 2026 contract, therefore, signals that the Army is moving from developmental recovery into scaled procurement, which is exactly what would be expected once a modernization round transitions from proving it works to filling war stocks and training pipelines. Foreign demand is likely part of the equation as well. The contract explicitly includes future FMS customers, and recent U.S. notifications show that Poland's Abrams package included 70,000 M1147 rounds. Romania's Abrams request included 5,940 M1147 rounds, and Israel was notified for a package that could include M1147 and/or M830A1 cartridges. That suggests the Army is not only replenishing its own armored formations, but also building the production depth needed to arm a widening community of Abrams operators with a common, modern multipurpose round. The M1147 strengthens the Abrams not by replacing its tank-killing kinetic ammunition, but by restoring and modernizing the tank's ability to dominate the mixed target environment that armored crews actually face most often. In that sense, Washington is ordering the M1147 because armored warfare now demands a tank round that is as useful against walls, bunkers, and missile teams as the Abrams remains dangerous against armor.